Good evening, everybody. Baxter here with you once again, Facebook Live on a Friday night. We won't make this too long tonight. I know people got plans to do and things to do, and probably have had a tiring day if you're even at home at this point. Maybe you'll catch the replay. But anyway, wanted to get on here just a few minutes this evening to share with you a continuation of last night after I had talked about, what you should do if you were trying to train at home and how you should set up your circuit training, because I really think to me that's a good way of training. It's not for everybody, and if you like to do things in a different way, then of course by all means do so. That just happens to be the way I'm teaching at the moment, because it's probably my favorite way of training to stay healthy, because you can change and create so many variables in that you're not stuck in one thing every time you do it. But anyway, so a question or two that I thought might come up in people's minds as we are talking, as we continue our education here about being healthy and do the things you should do to get healthy. And that is that people won't ask many times is they ask me, which should you do? Should you add more reps as you go through and get better and stronger and faster? Or do you add more sets? Well, and before I go and answer that question, I want to give you a couple of nutritional tips also before I forget to do that. That many times as we work out, we tend to get sore, or we've had a long work day. If you do any kind of physical work, that you get sore and you have what is known as inflammation in your body. And that's when you have joint pain, when you have muscle pain, when you have back pain from sitting at a desk all day, that's really inflammation that comes into your body from whatever means that you might have gotten it. And one of the ways to help control that, to make it less, is that if you eat like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and apples with the peeling on it, or with the peel, however you wish to say that those items have a flavonoid in it that is actually called quercetin. And quercetin helps to cut down on inflammation in the body. It also helps to cut down the cortisol, as I've talked about before in other videos. And that's how you can get that naturally. Now, of course, there is another way that you can find that as well, and that is that you can get a patented 99.5% quercetin, which really helps with that. And when you take that as a morning and afternoon type thing, it gives you plenty of energy, and you don't have the downfall that you do from other products that may give you that crash, if you will. But anyway, just thought I'd bring that to your attention, that's one way to help out with inflammation if you do get sore while or from working out, or any other soreness that you might know and understand is inflammation. It also helps in other areas of your life. If you get the flu, if you get the cold. Recently there was a lady that I know that had the flu, or she thought she had the flu. And so I gave her some of this quercetin to try. And within a couple of days, she was much, much better as far as her feelings and the way she had about, her feelings. The inflammation and pain that you have associated with colds and with flus that you feel so bad. She took that and now is a user of that on a continuous basis. So anyway, it's a very good nutritional tip that you can get naturally through those things that I talked about. Now, back to the subject at hand. Do we, as you are progressing out, do you add more reps? Do you add more sets? Now, if you didn't see the video last night explaining what the difference is between a rep and a set, and a rep or a repetition is one movement. Whatever you might be doing push-ups, you might be doing squats, you might be doing curls or chin-ups. It is one movement, an up and down movement, back and forth, whatever, and that is called a repetition. When you put two or more of those repetitions together non-stop, that's called a set. And so, for instance, when I go to the track, I do 4 rounds in that quarter-mile track. And so therefore I do 4 sets of each exercise, and my repetitions vary in each exercise I do because of what it might be. And that's the beauty of having a circuit training system, is you can vary those things throughout your journey as you are going and growing. So more reps or more sets. Now, when you do more reps, and this all depends upon your goal and how you feel many times, but your goal is, if you are trying to build strength, okay, then you want to have less repetitions per sets. If you are trying to build endurance, then you try to increase your repetitions per set. So for instance, I started out and I was doing and just in my push-ups. So I was doing 12 full length push-ups. When I say full, arms fully extended out, coming all the way down, touching your chest or your nose off to the ground. Not the ones like you see many the people do, where you just do break the angle of the arm, where it's just like that, and you're moving, only so far. I'm talking about full length exercises or movements in a push-up. So I started out at 12. My goal was to get to 20. When I got to 20 per set on the third round, then I added another round and I started back and done as many as I could, which was 10 at that point. And so that's what I'm doing. I won't go beyond 20 because I want to have a 20 because of the type of things that it is, but I do not want to go and try to do 50 or 60 push-ups at one time. To me, I want to maintain strength. I want to maintain a little bit of size, but yet some endurance as well. And so to me, 20 repetitions is a good number. You might not can do 20, and you might could only do 10 or 5 or whatever it might be. But if you're trying to increase endurance and burn more calories, then you want to you increase the repetitions. If you're trying to create power, then you want to go with more sets. And there is a point whenever you should stop. Like I said, when I got to 20, if I use a full weight, a body weight rowing machine, like at the Y and the thing, I could do probably 40, but I stop at 20. I just don't see the need to move on to that. So I try to save that, because right before I get to that, I do a full body chin up, which I have to cheat to actually get 4 repetitions per set. And when I say cheat, is I touch off with my toe on the rail on the bottom, push me just enough to get my chin over the top. So I'm trying to increase that. And so I save my energy for that, because I'd like to get up to about 10. That hasn't happened. And so that's what I'm saying. You can determine those things. And I want that because that is a power move. And the things that I do in my life require power. Moving doors, moving lumber, handling stuff like that, up and down on forklifts, being able to move up and down on trucks, and to move my body weight around and to handle things, I need that kind of power. Ladies might want to have higher repetitions because they are afraid of building too much muscle. And believe me, that's going to be very hard to do in any whatever form you got to. And building great size in a woman is very difficult to do. It's very difficult for a lot of men to do. So, but to me, the circuit training is I'm after health. I'm not trying to win a bodybuilding contest. I'm trying to stay healthy, stay in shape, and to be able to live as one of my goals I set is I want to be able to live to be 100 plus, and I want to be healthy when I get there. So I'm not trying to beat my body up so that I can't move from soreness the next day. I'm trying to make it operate functionally and practical. And that's what I think you can get out of a circuit training. So the idea behind that, and there's other means we could go into, but that's my favorite one. And so the idea here then is this: do you want endurance or do you want power? Now, if you go with higher repetitions, then you are going to be in an aerobic state, which means you burn more calories and you suck in more air. Now, when you go to lower repetitions, you can get into an anaerobic state. That also has to do with how much you're breathing in or out. And meaning that when you get above, as I spoke of a couple of videos ago, that if you take 220 minus your age, that gives you your maximum heart rate. Now, to get 80 or 85% of that, then you would divide that number by 0.85, and that would give you that amount. I think I said that right. But anyway, and if you want to go 60, which is your lowest point, you would do the same thing by 60. And so when you get to that 85 or above in your heart rate, you're in an anaerobic state, meaning you're not burning the amount of calories you would, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, calories or oxygen intake you would if you were going into below that, where you were in aerobic state, like running and so forth. And that's what you have if you're doing high repetitions, walking to your next set, or waiting for a minute for your heart rate to fall back down. If you go into anaerobic, you're going beyond that, where you're developing strength. Now, you burn calories on both of them. And so, again, I said it depends upon your goals as to what you want. But I do think there should be a cap on repetitions, one for joint protection and time barriers, that you can add another whole surround, another whole set or circuit in there and get much more benefit out of it than you would trying to add, just say, if you want to do 30 repetitions on something. I think, to me, you're getting beyond what you would need to be healthy, and you're getting to where you can start to tear muscle down because it cannot recuperate from that. So keep a minimum. To me, 20 is a good reference point, and then I started to add more until I get my whole circuit up to where I want it. So, but anyway, determine those things by your goal, and I hope this has been helpful for you this evening. My mouth is drying out, and if you have found it to be helpful in that, and you're trying to work out and trying to proceed, then examine your goals and see which one you need the most of, or what you want to work on. You may have body parts that you want to get to have it, as the word is used in that field, to have more cuts, muscle cuts, more definition of the muscle, where you do a higher repetition, or you might change up each set, a different exercise to create the same thing, so that you have muscle confusion going on in the body as well, and you don't get tired and bored. You have a change going up every set. But either way, determine your needs in that, and then higher repetitions is more so for endurance, lower repetitions is more so for power. Again, I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please leave a comment below. If you feel free to share this with somebody that might could benefit from it as well. And my friends, that does it for this Friday night, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.